This presentation will explain some of the problems which can arise when claiming universal credit and how to avoid them. Universal credit is a monthly benefit. That means it's paid on the same date every month to the person claiming the benefit. The person claiming the benefit will therefore need a way to send funds to cover their rent to their landlord. An easy way to do this is to use their bank card to set up a recurring card payment, which will send the correct amount of money on the correct date to BPHA. If you need help setting this up, the best thing to do is contact BPHA Customer Services, who will be able to assist you. Another option is to get an alternative payment arrangement, which is something that the job centre will be able to organise. An alternative payment arrangement is there to help those customers who are not able to manage their finances because they're vulnerable or have complex needs, or if their home is at risk because they have very high rent arrears and have had trouble making payments in a reliable way in the past. The APA or alternative payment arrangement can be requested either by the person claiming the benefit or by BPHA. All that needs to be done is to make clear to the job centre why the APA is needed. Another thing to be aware of is the delay which occurs between the date of claiming universal credit benefit and the time funds actually reach the bank account of the person who's claimed the benefit. This can be as much as 6 to 7 weeks. One way to counter this is to ask for an advance of benefit at the job centre. The job centre will usually be able to make the funds available within the week, sometimes within 48 hours, and if someone needs budgeting advice or help on how to prepare for this tough period before their benefit claim comes into payment, then of course the money advice team is there to help. One thing to just bear in mind when taking a benefit advance is to try and set the repayment period for as long a period of time as possible, because this will dictate the level of deductions from ongoing universal credit benefit, because the benefit advance amount will be repaid gradually by deductions from ongoing universal credit benefit. The longer the period of time, the lower the level of deductions. Another source of difficulty for some claimants can be issues which arise because of the claimant commitment. The claimant commitment is the set of rules agreed at the start of the claim which the person claiming the benefit must stick to in order to keep the benefit in payment. If the rules aren't kept to, then the benefit could be reduced on a temporary basis. This is called a sanction. The sanction will reduce the amount of benefit income available to the person claiming the benefit and could cause hardship and difficulty paying for day-to-day essentials. If this happens, it would be advisable to contact the money advice team or other debt and benefit advice agencies to get help to improve the situation. Improving the situation could involve asking for hardship payments from the job centre or indeed challenging the sanction if it seems unfair. Again, the best place to go is to get specialist advice from a debt and benefit advisor to deal with this. Another thing to bear in mind is that council tax support is not included in universal credit. If the person claiming universal credit also wants help to pay their council tax bill, then they should claim this direct from their local authority. That is to say, the local government which sends them their council tax bill. Again, if you need help countering any difficulties with this, then please contact the BPHA Money Advice team. Specialist debt and benefit advice can be helpful in a variety of ways. Aggressive deductions from universal credit benefit could be reduced, and this could cover a range of different debts, for example, rent arrears, utility debts, court fines, and even payment holidays where the benefit advance deductions are concerned. For self-employed people, it might be the case that they're in the second year of their claim, which is the time when an assumed income comes into play. This means even if they're earning less from their self-employment than the assumed amount of income, their benefit will always be worked out on the assumed income. That means they may need some advice about dealing with their universal credit claim and possibly returning to a situation where they're in regular employment rather than self-employment. European or non-European Economic Area tenants who are being denied benefit may also need advice in order to restore their access to public funds, which is to say their right to claim benefit which could help pay their rent and their living costs. Other claimants can encounter difficulties with their childcare cost refunds. In this case, it may be to do with the fact that the payment of the charges is what attracts the benefit entitlement rather than the invoicing of the charges and when that takes place. In order to get some help getting the refund due to them in their benefit, they may need some advice from a debt and benefit advisor and possibly some letters drafting. Disruption to housing benefit or other benefits for a period before the universal credit claim starts might be something that can be reversed or reconsidered by the benefit agency in question. This is something that could produce a back payment of rent help for some claimants. Again, a debt and benefit advisor would be the person to approach for some help with this. In some cases, claimants have had their benefit entitlement incorrectly calculated and have lost out as a result. For example, the bedroom tax being applied when it shouldn't have been applied, or incorrect household details having been provided in error or recorded in error by the benefit agency. In these cases, this is a situation that could be challenged with the help of a debt and benefit advisor. Some of the key things to bear in mind when beginning a claim for universal credit or when one is underway are as follows. Firstly, asking for a discretionary housing payment from the local authority where you need help to pay your housing costs. For example, an ongoing rent shortfall where your benefit doesn't cover all of your rent. Now this could be for a past period or the present. It could also be money that you need to cover a deposit for rent in advance or indeed moving costs. Discretionary housing payments are awarded by the local authority. If you need help applying, do contact the BPHA Money Advice Team for help. Also remember to apply for council tax support. This isn't part of universal credit, so you will have to apply to the local authority which has sent you your council tax bill. If you need help for the first 6 or 7 weeks of your universal credit claim, because that's how long it will take for your universal credit benefit to be paid to you, then do request a benefit advance at the job centre. Just be sure to get as long a repayment period as you can. An alternative payment arrangement could be a way to send your rent directly to BPHA. This is something you can request at the job centre, but don't forget the recurring card payments. You can set these up in a straightforward way using your bank card just by calling BPHA customer services on 0330 100 0272. If you need help furnishing your property or if there's been fire, flood or theft, look into local welfare assistance, often awarded by local authorities or chosen partners to whom they've delegated this job. If you need help to find out how to do this, please contact the BPHA Money Advice Team. If you're having trouble covering your food budget at any point during your universal credit claim, then of course please contact the BPHA Money Advice Team to get some help about things you can do to improve your situation, as well as emergency assistance like food bank vouchers. If there are any other debt or benefit matters causing you concern, simply contact the BPHA Money Advice Team on 0330 100 0272. The next part of this presentation covers some action points which you can use as your claim gets underway. Things to keep an eye out for in the first week of your universal credit claim would be making a clear note of the date that you applied for benefit online. This will allow you to predict when your first payment of universal credit will be received, approximately 6 to 7 weeks from the date you applied. Be sure to provide any documents which the job centres requested to prove your identity or supply any additional details they need in order to pay you the benefit. Be sure to schedule your meeting at the job centre, supply any doctor's notes if you're not able to work, apply for council tax support if you need help paying your council tax bill, and advise your BPHA home agent when you submitted your application. It's also helpful to ensure that you've provided the correct details to Universal Credit about who lives in your household, your contact details, the number of bedrooms in the household, and the rent that you pay on the household. You also may want to ask for an advance payment of Universal Credit. Just be sure to get that spread over as long a period of time as possible to keep the deductions from your Universal Credit as low as possible. The job centre is also able to help with things like travel costs. So if you needed help in order to get to and from the job centre, or to job interviews, or to do your job searching, that's something you should raise with the staff at the job centre. Also make sure you don't agree anything in your claimant commitment that you can't stick to. So if you're too sick to do something, make it clear as early as possible and be sure that your claimant commitment doesn't include any rules which you can't keep to. In weeks 2 to 4 of your Universal Credit claim, you want to keep a close eye on your Universal Credit Journal because this is the main way that the job centre is going to communicate with you about your claim. If they ask for information, provide it as soon as you can, or put a note on the journal explaining why there's going to be a delay. Attend all the job centre meetings as required, and inform your creditors if your income has reduced because of the switch to benefit income. If you've applied for the Universal Credit Advance Payment, do be sure you budget that carefully to make sure you've set some money aside and that you make it last until you get your payment of Universal Credit. If you're struggling to buy food, do speak to the money advice team at BPHA who can assist with a food voucher and advice about how to improve the money situation. By week 5 of your claim, you may have some information on your online journal which tells you when your first payment of Universal Credit is due and how much you will be paid. Check the journal, and once you've found this information, share it with your home agent. The things you'll want to keep an eye on is how much rent help you'll be getting. This will be listed under the Housing heading in your payment statement. If you need help with your payment statement and making sense of it, do feel free to call the BPHA Money Advice team who'll be able to have a discussion with you about this. Keep your BPHA home agent informed of your progress so they know what stage your claim is at as it works through the system. Reviewing the details on your journal is also a good way to make sure that the benefit's being calculated properly. The way you would do this is to check that the information about any wages or other income you have, your number of children, bedrooms, rent figures, address, and so on are all entirely accurate. That way you can be sure that the benefit is being calculated in an accurate way as well. Keep BPHA informed about the claim, and if you have any questions about the claim, do get in touch with your home agent or the BPHA Money Advice team who'll be able to discuss this with you. By week 6 or 7 of your benefit claim, you can expect the money to reach your bank account. At this time, you'll finally be able to make a payment towards your rent. Be sure to tell your BPHA home agent when and how much you will be paying towards your rent. Do confirm the date on which your Universal Credit payment is made to you. Your payment statement in the online journal should tell you this. You will find that the date of the payment will remain constant throughout your claim. So for example, if your first payment were to come through on the 5th of the month, you will always be paid Universal Credit on the 5th of each month. Take the opportunity to set up regular payments. An easy way to do this is to set up a recurring card payment using your bank card. Just contact BPHA Customer Services on 0330 100 0272 to do this. Thank you for your attention during this presentation. I hope it has been helpful to you in understanding some of the difficulties which arise in the course of a universal credit claim and how you can overcome them. If you would like to discuss any of the issues raised by this presentation, please feel free to call the BPHA Money Advice team on 0330 100 0272 and we will be pleased to advise you further.